Truth is making a comeback. America's Top Stories with Lisa K. Donner.
After 3 decades on the U.S. Supreme Court, the crucial swing vote, Anthony Kennedy has resigned. This paves the way for President Trump to nominate a strict constructionist to the highest court in the land. Kennedy has long been known for his soft approach on social issues, and it's often been said, as Kennedy goes, so goes the court. Kennedy stepping down from the court may send shivers up the spines of those on the left as the president chooses a new nominee from his list of 25 possible justices. Joining us today is someone who follows the U.S. Supreme Court very closely, constitutional lawyer and Liberty Nation legal affairs editor Scott Cosenza. Scott, what say you about Kennedy's resignation?
Lisa, I think that for the last go-around for his pick with Justice Gorsuch, Donald Trump seemed to rely heavily on the Federalist Society for law and public policy, and that organization is a long-standing conservative and libertarian legal group designed to foster those values in judges and senior lawyers. And so if he goes back to his list, which I'm sure he reached in working with the Federalist Society, we may see another strict constructionist nominated. Certainly, I hope that to be the case as a small government advocate, but we won't know until we see them. And it's always important to bear in mind that while the people who do the nominating try their best to nominate someone who will reflect their own values, they are sometimes frustrated once those nominees take their positions on the court. So what you think you may get may not be what you do get, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
What do you make of Anthony Kennedy's tenure? In other words, what is Kennedy's legacy?
Well, I think that we refer to Anthony Kennedy as a swing vote on the court, and to me, that is his legacy. His legacy is deciding for many Americans these issues that if he went the other way on, they would be decided differently. We can talk about the gay marriage case. We can talk about Citizens United. I think he wrote the majority opinions for the court in all of the homosexual privacy and gay marriage cases. So that's probably where his biggest impact lies. And going forward, his biggest impact on American life, I think, is probably there.
All right, Scott, now stay right where you are. We are going to come back to you on Truth is Making a Comeback, America's Top Stories, in just a moment. The U.S. Supreme Court has been doling out opinions like Halloween candy these last few weeks. And here's a classic case of why Justice Kennedy's resignation is so significant. In a 5-4 decision with Kennedy again as the swing vote, the Supreme Court ruled on President Trump's travel ban. The High Court said that the lower court injunction from Hawaii, essentially halting the travel ban, was improper and struck it down. Scott joins us again for more on this.
Now, the thing is, the Supreme Court, or 5 Supreme Court justices in any case, have already said that they believe that it's unlikely that they would lose. And that was the standard they had to meet for the injunction. So 5 Supreme Court justices have already said if this were to be examined by a competent court, it's unlikely that they would win. Well, that's a pretty good odds that that's how they're going to vote if they're actually voting on the merits of the law itself rather than the injunctive relief granted in order to stop that law's implementation, which is what in fact they did rule on today.
Join us again next week for Truth is Making a Comeback, America's Top Stories. I'm Lisa K. Donner. Thanks so much for joining us.
Click like and subscribe and visit libertynation.com today.